the questions and he do the fact checking, and we got Google Man in the back. He do the same, you know what I'm saying, when we need a question or something that ain't in front of us. So stay tuned. We're glad to have you back if you're back again. And if this is your first time tuning in, then we appreciate you most definitely. You can do the ad right there. Yeah, that's the FB, the IG. I don't do much on Twitter and all the extra, TikTok and BitBop and you know what I'm saying. But my man does, and he's gonna tell you all about it. All right.
Yes, all right. Mr. Boy Wild Star. You can follow me at Yehudi Gang. That's where we do music at various different types, just positive music. You can also check me at Atmosphere Productions, where we do videography, cinematography, as well as Atmosphere Candles. Your boy stay busy working.
Got to. That's right. That's right, man. The repertoire, the portfolio, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. That's what time it is. Yeah, build it up.
So, thank y'all for joining us on Unapologetically Black. We finna get into it today and discuss some very nice things. So thank y'all for tuning in, viewers who is this your first time, and for returning viewers, it's good to see y'all.
And yes, like Unapologetically Black. Yes, that is the name of the podcast. And I might have skipped past that. I got to bear with me. I got my heart, you know what I'm saying, kind of pulled by some bereavement of sorts. You know what I mean? I'm in St. Louis, my hometown, where we had to come and do a memorial homegoing celebration or whatever for a close loved one. And what I had been thinking as this was going on, because we had my wife, because this is my wife that lost, it's her aunt, her mother's sister. All right. But last year, she lost her father. And her sister within like a 3-week time span. You see, now when this happened, we were pretty much like I told you, Wild Star. I have a theory that everything has to return to the material, the source, the material that it came from. So when they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust, well, in my mind, that just means that, okay, well, if the body is supposed to be made from the earth, it must return to the earth. The flesh, that must return to the earth. But it's something powering this body. You see, it's a battery in here that basically, like what they were saying on the all to turn a person into this dual-cell battery for the most part. This beat, you see what I'm saying? Because a battery energy for a certain amount of time before it burns out in order to power something. All right. So basically, where does that energy go? I'm from the bricks. You know what I'm saying? So somebody get their electricity cut off, it's coming from the same power company. In St. Louis, we only got one. Like in other places, I learned that you got options. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how it's cut. Like, you can pay a deposit and then you get a cheaper rate. It's kind of like mortgages. You know what I'm saying? It's like what you gonna kick in. You know what I'm saying? To make us rock with you harder on the back end. You know what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh wow, that's that. But at the end of the day, when I thought about that fact that people don't talk about what is the right way to dispose of the human body and religion and faith. You see what I'm saying? We don't discuss it. So I've always gone to the funerals and people were lowered into the ground if I was allowed to see that. All right. Now, if somebody was cremated, I've seen the balloon release, I've seen pictures this side up, but I know the different religions do things different, and some stuff is like forbidden. Like, no, you can't burn the body. Like, what are you doing? You see what I'm saying? And you got people that put stuff in jars, and then you got people that's like, oh, we gotta wrap him up now. We got 3 days. Like, we ain't got time for nobody to be coming from the We gotta have oil on him. We gotta wrap him up. It's gotta go down. You see what I'm saying? So depending on who you are, and like if you go back to the ancient Egyptians, from what they tell us, and they had all this stuff set up in, the pyramids or their tombs to be able to have the pathway to the afterlife set up, right? So But that's what we told. So like that's why I'm like I'm gonna leave. It's grain of salt. Yeah. Okay, most definitely. But for our people here in this land, all right, if we were a people that were being held captive, whether it was the transatlantic slave trade or the descendants of the indigenous tribes of this land, you see what I'm saying? I'm not ready to debate all that, but why would the oppressor want to divulge to those that are being held captive the proper way to set their souls free? They wanted to trap their bodies, which really was keeping their souls trapped the whole time while they was breathing, walking around. You see what I'm saying? We dealing with deep-seated, deep-rooted hate.
Right.
You see? So yeah, that's the question, bro, because I'm not here. I'm not gonna pretend that I am. Like, it's some things I ask questions about, and I'm like, okay, I want confirmation. No, I want information.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, when you like you said, man, a lot of people have different, ways that they bury their dead. It's actually really good, a really good topic too. If you look at a lot of African cultures, the way that it's really has to do with culture and religion, of that region, and kind of what you believe. There's like various African tribes out there that like view death differently than like the European way of viewing death, as well as like, you have people from the Hindu persuasion, they view death in a different way too. Like, sometimes people believe in reincarnation, so it's like the way that they, bury their dead is going to be different, because in their mind, they think, okay, this person's going to come back again, so the way that you're looking at it, it is different. Like here, it is a little weird when you really break it down. Like here, you have the whole, a person dies and then you have a wake, right? Right. And then you dress them up and do all this. They do the taxidermy on them and stuff. Where
you mean like
embalming and all that. So it's like the way that we kind of look at death here in the West is very weird. Like it's almost like we don't want to let go.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Because it's like you got the whole wake, right? And then you want all these people to come here, and then you have the actual funeral at the church where everybody comes and they walk up to the casket and they're like touching them, and it's
yeah, because
mentally it's like they're still there. Like they make it on the head.
That's the carpenter at work right there, bro. For sure. Yeah. So that's what I was speaking about. The one electric company. Right. Before I detoured a little bit, but if you have they have that energy regardless of where it's going. They're monitoring so the source is the same. So if they cut off baby electricity down the block, that don't mean they lost no electricity. They still got the power.
Right.
They just diverted it somewhere. That's it. It's got channels differently, redirected. So it's the same with us. Everything comes from us. Everything. Nothing that you see that has any moving parts, mechanical, motor, computer, brain, whatever. Like, no, motherboard, whatever, circuitry, whatever. No, wiring, whatever. It all comes from us. You can see the same thing. It's like our anatomy, is what has been used to create all of this. But it don't take a rocket scientist. It just take stepping back far enough to get the view and not being all up on it. Like you ain't gonna be able to see the whole picture. You see what I'm saying? So hey, but I'm listening, family.
Yeah, no. So it's like, for me personally, I follow the tour, obviously. So the way that it would, like, it honestly starts with me and like my family and my what I'm a part of and the community I'm a part of. Like the way that we deal with death is like, you wrap up the body, right? And then like you can inform people, like that this person passed and like, that they're gonna bury you, but usually that's up to like the family to go and bury that person. Like the family would wrap the person, like you don't send them off to nobody to go get like all this stuff done to them and dressed up and all this stuff. It's like, no, like that's your family. So you wrap them up, you go put them into the ground. But like I said, you wrap them up, you cover them, and then you put them into the ground because they're gone.
Right.
Like when we look at like grave sites, right? Like, and well, and this is crazy too. Like I actually had a friend on Facebook talk to me about this. But like, look at how we do gravestones and stuff, right? Like people go out there and talk to the ground.
And if you can talk there, you can talk anywhere.
Yeah. So it's like the way that
they there. It's like the spirit is stuck there.
It's like,
now I don't mean to cut you
really
off.
not letting them go. Like
that's what I'm getting at. So that's what I'm saying. That so I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what I feel, because I was speaking theoretically, philosophically on it. You see that this is what I feel happens, or should happen, as far as what do we call it? Biodegrading.
Yeah. Or decomposing.
There you go. But in order to biodegrade, it has to be able to decompose somewhere where it can be able to go back into something that is going to dissolve and eat it, the worms, whatever bacteria, whatever. It has to be able to actually fulfill its purpose in that way, and then it recycles and it comes back again. Like that's what it is. So you just got to put it back in. It's just like, hey, it's all good, man. If we the squad, man, yeah, it's just like it's petty cash, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, yeah, you ain't got, yeah, just put it back,
Right. And and so it's like, like you said, I know you were talking like the right way. Like honestly, it's just, I ain't gonna say there's a right way, because different cultures did different stuff, but it's the mentality behind it, like that I look at. Like I said, when someone transitions and passes, like, I mean, they gone. Like, ain't nothing you could do to bring them back. Ain't no this or that. And, sometimes people like do these things to try to make them feel better, because like they can't cope with the idea of a loss, of some people. So it's like, I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm knocking you for that, but it's like, you also need to be aware, because mentally, like you got to understand that these people, like, they're gone. Like my grandma, like when she passed away, like my grandma was like, I like that. That was my I still have my other grandma that's alive as well.
I feel you. You gotta know your heart though, for sure.
She was the one I was super close to growing up when I was little. Like I used to always go to her house. So when you're talking about like I was her favorite grandchild. Like she had 9 kids. Those 9 kids had a whole bunch of kids. So there's a whole bunch of us that are out there. But everybody in the family knew that I was like the favorite when it came to like the grandkids, and to me it was like the way that I viewed her death and the way that I processed it was like, I just enjoy the memories that we had together. Like everything like that's what's, you keep somebody's memory alive, here in your head. Right, like you don't need to go
in this life too. That's how they live on. That's what we were speaking about.
Exactly. Like that's how you become immortal in a sense.
Bam.
By the actions that you've done in this life, and like what impact that you had here. When you were alive, like your descendants will remember that, or people will remember that about you. But it's like,
what did Nas say? Make history before you go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like what you gonna do while you here?
You got to add, like I said, what you contributing. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna make a difference here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't nothing new under the sun, but it's something that needs to be done in a new way. It's more refined. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like Bruno Mars, for example. Like that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? But Bruno takes stuff that he knows, like whatever riffs or whatever chords or whatever, he takes certain elements and he recreates it. He put his spin on it. But it sounds so familiar. You see what I'm saying? To where you like, I know, wait, what is that? But you like, hey, yeah, because he is bringing something that is already working. And he's doing it his way.
Right.
It's simple genius. That's it. You see, but when it comes down to our people, that's what I was saying. It's about our people, man, that don't know. We the ones, because like when you speaking about wrapping people up, well, guess what? My brother that I had on the show last week that sat in, you know what I'm saying, like on the fly, like showed up out of the blue, like he was the backup to the backup, but it happened. But he could attest to that's my dad, my biological father, you know what I'm saying, had to do the same thing for my Uncle Clarence. And God bless the, you know what I'm saying, already, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But see, and it's like also wrapping it up is more intimate as well.
Right. And he had to do it himself.
Think about that. Like, you're the one that's having to do this. You're the one that's having to go and wrap their body and cover their body. Like, it's personal because, like, I mean, like, that's your family.
Exactly.
So that's how, in my opinion, that's how it should be. Is you're the one to, like, you dig the grave because that bears the weight. And one thing that teaches too is to value that life. Like, look at the work that it took to put them down in the ground. So you value them, like you putting in this work to honor them, you know, to do this yourself. Like, you're not calling no company over here, they digging it up, you putting them down, and then, you know, it is what it is. You know, you put your
people like sod, and you know, like they actually
think about this too, right? Like
the groundskeepers, let the groundskeepers come.
Right, but think about how expensive it is. Like, that's what people ain't looking at.
It's just like weddings, bro,
it is to bury.
The people wait on weddings. Now, if you got it, like it ain't tricking if you got it. We all
right. But no, I'm just saying,
talking about
a lot of people go into they try to find ways to bury these people because
they don't have a headstone.
It's going to cost you like $3,000, $4,000 just to, as opposed to you having some land, right? Like, you own a family land, like, and this is where I think
this is where all our people go. It's like
every family to do that too. Like, they
bro,
buy
look,
some
man.
land so you can bury your people on your land,
bro. Look, and we haven't spoke about this before, but obviously we on the same page, man. Flat out, man. And it's about being able to get people to see it that way as well, man. Like, we are supposed to be sacred. Who is going to uphold it? Who is going to enforce it? Who is going to take the stand? Who going to take the lead to show that this is how this should be done? You see, we're gonna have to be a united front. It don't take 400, it could take 4, and their family members. And when we talk about putting bread together, man, look, plenty of cultures do it. They sit and they talk, but they call them investment groups and whatnot, and they politic, and they like, oh yeah, they got this project picked out, they got these stocks over here, we went up, and yeah, you know what I'm saying, bonds, etc. I mean, I ain't trying to, you know, preach to the choir. I'm just saying this is what they do. But we barely trust each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I want them to make my fish sandwich, and I don't know about that place. You know what I'm saying? Because of where it's located and the color of the skin, we do that to ourselves. So when it comes down to something like death, where people scared to live anyway. You see what I'm saying? Everything that people do, whether it's their job, unless you straight doing something that you love to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, you ain't tripping off of no money. And if the money there, then cool. But you don't live your life for the money. Like, what does Confucius say? A man that finds something that he loves to do will never have to work another day in his life. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly. So I love what I do. And I do, but I love my people. So that's why, like, this is not something that's monetized or whatever, and we don't do it for that. If it becomes that, so be it. All praise to the Most High. His presence goes before me, my regard. So I'm not worried about it at all. If it happens, it's going to unfold. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. And that's it. You keep it pushing, keep it moving, and don't get hung up on how it's doing, how it's going to do. You put thought into the wrong thing. You spoke it like, then had the confidence in the faith that it's going to be. You see? So back when we was talking about the Egyptians. So they believed they did ABC and had it set up like this, that they was going to the afterlife. That's what they believed. That was their faith. Who could say that whatever transition that transpires from whatever religion, that it's not true? As a man thinketh, so he is.
Have you seen American Gods before?
I have. And the
Yeah,
beginning
like
of it, man, tripped me
that's
out, man.
basically
Like, cause see, I'm telling you, bro. Remember, I was speaking on like that's what kind of woke me up. Like, cause I'm like, hold on, cause I'm a David and versus Goliath type of. Y'all gonna let them talk about our God like that? Like God, they gods. What? No, this cause I told you in the 7th grade, I had one of my partners tell me the black man is God, but because of how he delivered it, I'm like, well, shit, I ain't the blackest nigga, man. The blackest, I'm
right.
not. But so, bro, I'm like, so you singling me out? Like, come on now. You know how Tony Brown get down. So, I mean, my beard just as thick and nappy my hair was too back in the day, depending on how I treated it. It could be curly if it wanted to, but I ain't got time for the washing, the damn moisturizer, the conditioner, and for what every day. No, you was able to tell. To make a long story short, if this hair grew on his head the way it used to, it'd be like, oh yeah, he's black, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. You know,
Right.
I still get it. Like, oh, I thought you was white. Oh, you whiter now. Like, so you just gonna get. But I'm used to it though, so it's okay though. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna let it turn me, in the wrong direction. But
right. Man, you
yeah,
know
that
what?
don't mean that I don't want to speak
I want
from.
to ask you a topic about that. That just brought something up.
Yeah.
So, I was watching this content creator. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews on YouTube. Check him out.
Mediocre tutorials and reviews.
Yes, sir.
You
That
done any
does some
mediocre
great work.
tutorials or reviews on us?
And but he had made this post though talking about how and this is just gonna like I just want to kind of shift a little bit into like just how we deal with each other as a people too, because it just reminded me of you saying that like sometimes we got a lot of colorism in our community, right? Like between light-skinned people and dark skinned black people, and sometimes it's funny stuff like hee hee ha ha, but it's like really there's
But
a lot
it's not when you on the other end, the receiving end,
right on the receiving end.
And see, like, okay, my grandmother told me, she said, what my government is, she said, you're gonna have to fight. You small, you high yellow, you're gonna have to fight. I'm like, oh, okay. And so she gave me a complex, and I didn't realize until later on down the line. And my cousin, my first cousin, he a couple years older than me. I got suspended from school for like 90 days because I knocked the nigga out, and then my partner jumped on him like right behind him. Like as soon as he hit the ground, the foot was on his head, and it was bad. And then Mokes jumped in it, but I was the reason why. At the end of the day, I'm the one that kicked it off, and so you got to go for 90 days, nigga. And my cousin was like, well, "Why you do that?" And I was like, "Hey man, look, homeboy was getting ready to drop, and I'm not gonna wait on him to." So I'm like, nah, and it's almost like a shoot first, ask question later type of thing, but it's based on how I had came up to that point.
Right.
So it's like my whip wouldn't have been as short, and I wouldn't have been as irrational. You see what I'm saying? And if I would have been able to have somebody show me something different, other than you the lightest in the hood. So right. Try to call you white boy and yellow boy and red and all these German were
you know what's crazy? I got called white boy.
So my wife that's
because
is a little brown, just a little bit browner than me.
But I said that's because of just what I was interested in. Like I listened to every like all kinds of music. Like I
you're not in no box. You basically
country. Really, I don't really like country that much. But like I love rock. I love rock music, right? And so it's like I used to be called white boy for liking rap music, but then also because of how I talked. Like just because
you talk with clear grammar, but you enunciate.
Yeah, like I enunciate everything. Like I just speak as I am intelligent, So. And it was just like, man, growing up, it's just crazy to, just to discuss like how when we grow up, like all these different variables that happen and kind of molds who we are and experiences. But even within our own community, like how we attack each other over like the smallest stuff. Like we degrade each other for like the smallest stuff. But like I said, what Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews posted was this, it was a meme, right, of Donald Glover. It was back whenever That's Childish Gambino, if you know him by his artist
Yeah,
name.
yeah. That's what I'm just saying, right? Stay woke.
Yep. That's him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So he used to do a lot of people don't know his old stuff. He used to do. He had a comedy group called Derek Comedy, where he just did a whole bunch of skits, and like he's just one of the typical like nerdy black dudes, man. Like he just like that was just how he was, and it was just like to look at that, right, and then where he's at right now. A lot of basically what this meme said is like, people used to make fun of black people like this because they're nerdy, call them lame, call them this and that, but then they get successful and get with somebody of another race, and then now all of a sudden they're a traitor and this and that. So it's like,
it's about where the love at, though. At the end of the day, it's about unconditional love, flat out. You know what I'm saying? And that's not an easy thing to find. It is like an anomaly. It is a rarity. It's for real. You know what I'm saying? And see, I got another partner. He a few years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But we used to rap, and we used to talk about how it's like, okay, well, if you in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, with a female, of course, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be certain things that are expected on both ends. All right.
right.
But depending on how you're wired morally, it's gonna depend on how you treat that female too. You see what I'm saying? So and vice versa. You see, but the whole time it's you not loving yourself though and respecting yourself. That's so it's all tied into that. So you can't love somebody else unconditionally if you don't love yourself unconditionally.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's why I'm looking like I'm looking right now. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, I do have to love me, but I love my people as well. But this is something that I do care about. And nobody else other than you and I are on here right now making sure that anything is being shared for the cause that we have already, you know what I'm saying, said is common ground. You see what I mean? So it's up to us to make that happen. But you have to have not just you can't just be money motivated to do it. Eventually, you know what I'm saying, something could become big, and now the money ain't enough because to keep up, you losing your damn scruples and yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So it's like be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So but at the end of the day, though, you do have to know how to love yourself before you can love anybody. And if you don't know how to break that down, to be able, because people don't want to be accountable. And I would phrase that.
Ooh-wee, boy,
that has been an issue in the past.
Accountability.
So as my brother Google Man, had to tap me on the shoulder and say, yeah, I feel you, but we shouldn't say it like that. We should say it like this. So I'm doing my best to show that I got these big ass ears for a reason. And, you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing my best to do and make sure that I speak life into the situation, even though, because you remember I asked, I said, well, how do we address something without saying what needs to be addressed? Oh, I get it. You say it like it's already addressed. That's it. So no matter what we're talking about, we know we're sitting down because we're talking about building something up. So we don't have to be having it in no question form or if it happened or we win. No, it's done. Like in gangster movies like The Godfather or whatever, because I'm a fan of them and I ain't had my old dude around or whatever. So I learned from artists and actors and the cats in the hood, like young people. Like look, I pay attention. You see what I'm saying? But in the Godfather movie type of what I'm getting at, it's done. When the Godfather used to say, "Hey, man, it's done, Godfather." They ain't hit the nigga yet. He ain't been whacked yet, but it's done.
It's already done, though.
Done.
Hey, that's what they call a dead man walking.
It's done. And so when you see, like they used to say, like, hold on, who the fuck is this guy? Like, you brought him here, like, what the fuck you bring him around here for? So are you vouching for him? You see, you remember that? So basically, you done brought somebody into our thing, our dream, this our vision right here. You see what I'm saying? These are our words that have been manifested. This is our thought processes that have come together as a collective. So who the fuck is this guy? You see what I'm saying? So we have to get that with our culture, man. Period. Now, I'm not saying that it don't exist. I'm saying that we got to get away from the cliques. And you know what I'm saying? The basketball squads and football teams, whatever that we able to put together, man, and we got to be a family all the way around the board.
Absolutely.
Period. You know, like I was watching, I think it was one night in Miami or something. Baby girl, Regina King. I think she had something to do with it. Directed, put the bread behind it. Yeah. So it was a scene with Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali and what's his name?
Oh yeah. Okay, I know which one.
I think it was Sonny. I'm not really sure if it was Sonny. Listen, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure the boxer. It was. I mean, the football player, Jim Brown. Jim Brown. Bam, bam, bam. So it was Jim Brown. It was Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, and it was Malcolm X. All right, that were all in this scene, and they had several because it was like it was shot in a hotel room, so it was like real easy to make this movie. I'm pretty sure that as far as that, like they pretty much was only in one spot. But at the end of the day, they said that light-skinned black men always like had the most mouth want to prove how black they are. That's like a smack in the face to somebody like me. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, like before I heard Drake say a thing, I told the cat in a minute, anybody want to hear it, didn't want to listen, didn't make a difference. I'm light skinned dead for sure, but I got the heart of the darkest nigga, meaning the darkest skin, not no evil nigga.
Right.
You understand? You see what I'm saying? So, but I shouldn't have to declare that to be
right.
And I shouldn't have to stand on it to show people what I mean.
It's a type of division that we have learned here in America. Because you got to think about it. This goes back to slave days. The quote unquote light skinned people were usually the house slaves,
but they were also the slave master's kids.
That as well.
That complexion.
Yeah, most definitely some of them.
So
but like,
I ain't gonna have my kids out in the field. Yeah, I screwed her. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, but that's still my seed. Bring them in here. Bring her in here. She still, but you got that nigger blood.
And that's what put
you like what you are because you're not pure, but you still my seed. That ain't the house nigga fault. We all victims of the same
shit. Yeah. No, most definitely.
So we're gonna have to have some empathy, flat out.
Right. And but that's just how we've been conditioned to be, right? Like they've put this divide there between us, and then it's just perpetrated through. It's honestly perpetrated through us. Like we keep it going. Man. We got the ability to stop this from happening. Like when you see a light-skinned person, like. Yeah. It don't matter at the end of the day, they black. If a cop want to shoot a black man, it could be a light-skinned black man or it could be a dark-skinned black man. Like, but guess what? It just as you are walking through the world, it don't matter. People still gonna call you a nigga. Just like they'll call me a nigga.
But with the police though, it's like, see, because you talking to somebody, man, I got newspaper clippings, man, like with like 7, 8 cops on top of me. All you could see was my sneaker. Because they had to, it took that many of them stealing cats in the face and hitting cats in the ribs. And they like, oh, but I'm in front of cameras and the school and students, so they can't just handle me like Rodney King. So they had to wait on me. See what I'm saying? But if they was willing to do that, and I'm in high school at the time, what the hell you think they doing on a dark street when ain't nobody around?
Right.
I'm just saying.
They go
macing me. I'm like, man, bro, I ain't never felt no pain like that before. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And water don't work. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, but without trying to go too far off topic, man, it's like I feel that if the body and spirit are not able to go to where they're supposed to go, then there is a hope. Or now you have to repent. So that sound more like the diabolical shit that I'm used to, these type of people that still ain't got to be explained. You see, because we know that we eternal. You know we eternal. The energy don't dissipate, evaporate. You know what I'm saying? It's circulating. You see what I'm saying? And it all depends on where it's harnessed, whatever, on how it's going to generate the next time. You see what I'm saying? Period. So if you are constantly repeating this, like reincarnation, yeah, I get it, because the same source of life is in all of us. The intelligence is what's different, and how we move. Humans can be instinctive, you know what I'm saying? But we should lean more on our logic, and you know what I'm saying, our culture, tradition, and you know what I'm saying. But animals, they're like, oh, I'm hungry. That's it. Okay, yeah, you know, that's what it is. Oh, I'm horny. The elephant on top of the cow, whatever. It don't matter. That's the lion. That's how they move. You see what I'm saying? We got to woo the woman, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like it's a process. You have to think this thing through. You see what I'm saying? So this makes us different, because the animals, they go and just die where they die, and it's like no brainer. They don't go back to the earth from which they came.
Right. Very simple.
You see, so like I was telling, man, look, I got some stuff that I want to ask. I'll be as you not. Like, why is it that every other animal on the planet, dogs in particular, all right, during the menstrual cycle of the female dog, they call it being in heat. Okay, now this is, of course, we know what the menstrual cycle is, so that means that's the time that they bleed. But that's the time that they are the most susceptible to being impregnated. So why is it that the female human, the goddess, is any different? But in the scripture, it say that a woman is considered unclean, and during her cycle, she can't touch the Bible, and the man have to read it for her. It's a big divide. See, like I said, we need some empathy.
So so you got to look at the practicality of that, right? Like, that doesn't mean what a lot of people think it means. So when it talks about a woman was unclean, right? Yeah, I think back in the day they didn't have tampons, they didn't have pads.
Oh, but they had a mind, no.
So no. What I'm saying is, like, when a woman bled,
necessity is the mother of invention.
Like back then, when a woman bled, like they bled like on their clothes, like they would get, like they didn't have, they weren't.
So you just said clothes, meaning fabric, meaning
right. I mean, they
could bleed on it. They could use it to absorb it. It's kind of, I know women who ain't had no pads and when they got some damn toilet paper, bro, paper towel. You got to do what you got to do. So
that's what I'm saying. Back then,
brand new.
They weren't like putting stuff up there to clog up the blood from like flowing out. Like back then, the reason why I says that she was unclean and then that she would be separated for, you know, however many days is like, okay, if we in the house, everywhere you go sit, you gonna leave blood on there. Like you go sit on the quote unquote couch, like you gonna bleed on the couch. You go sit on here, you gonna bleed in a chair. Like they weren't, you know, prevent, like it's a different time. It's a different time now. So, you know,
it's a certain amount of blood that's gonna come out. We need a cup.
I mean, hey, that's something for the women right there.
I'm just saying. I'm just showing you how I think. You see what I'm saying? I'm outside the box, and I don't even have no vagina, so nowhere near. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
you know, but that's why it says that they were.
But I have a daughter. I have a daughter who is, yes, and I used to fix her hot tea and give her Motrin IV whenever her cramp came around, and made sure she was good to take her mind off of it, because the hot liquid soothes the cramp and helps the ibuprofen to dissolve it. Nobody have to tell me that. I just wanted to help.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So necessity is the mother of invention. So once you decide there is a need, the invention is sure to follow if you know this principle, if you know the fundamentals. So I'm not taking nothing away from you. What I'm saying is I'm outside the box. So do me a favor, do your best. I ain't trying to say that you behind me or beneath me. I'm saying
I'm just clarifying as far as,
so
like,
I'm trying to figure out why they would say that, because like I remember the first episode, Okay, so where do we fact check the facts? All right, so how do we know that just because this has been put in this book, because we're talking about edification by title and holy is the word, like, but we don't even think about holy, what it really means. Like, have you ever thought about whole? What, and just put a L-Y on it, or E-Y, whatever,
No,
whole.
no. Well, you got to go back to the original Hebrew word, which is kodesh, which is,
Okay,
you
which is,
know, which holy. What that really means is set apart. So
okay,
something that is set apart. So when you talk about
we talk that it's
a
sacred though, like
a
the,
holy people, like when they talk about, you know, the children of Israel were a holy people, they were a set apart people,
and
meaning
a pure,
what
righteous,
they were supposed to do
right?
was different from what everybody else was supposed to do. Like you
You talking
weren't,
about
like you
discipline?
said, you're not being like the common folk. You are different. The Most High set us apart for a particular reason. You
So
know,
we say that, you know, and at the end of the day, the one that's inside of me that wants to make sure that everybody is included. Everybody, if possible. Like if you don't see the way I see, that's cool. But this is open-ended discussion, and this is a round table for ethnicities of all colors
right,
and
right,
and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? To come and partake in this. I mean, because y'all know who y'all are, without a shadow of a doubt, and y'all got y'all way of doing things, and it's been passed down. And so we the ones that are not. And so I am doing my part to try to shine the light on that and bring it to pass. You see, but what did we say? It's already done. So now we just
right.
got to walk the path.
Absolutely. So,
You
like
see,
I said, to be set apart means like you're gonna, like the way that you move, like you're gonna do things differently. Like the people who are doing things to benefit our people, right? They're not moving the same way as everybody else. Like in a sense, you would call that set apart. Like that's being set apart. Like you want the betterment for your people. You're not contributing to the same BS that's going on out here. You know, you actually out there to build something for your people, to elevate them to another plane. Like that's what being set apart is. Like, so for us it's
so
like
that makes you
we
holy.
we,
If you set apart, you
we
saying that makes you holy.
well,
But we taught that like,
according to the scriptures, you know, like I said, being set apart is walking. Number one, like I said, we live for something other than just ourselves. Like we love ourselves first and foremost. Something that you, a sentiment that you brought up, how you said the black man is God. Like we are, like, and even in the Bible it says, "Ye are gods," right? So
God is a generic term, though.
right.
It's like
That just,
if you
but
getting
what that,
scientific, like
but
okay, a
what
reptile or whatever, that's supposed to be a snake or whatever. But we are gods.
But see,
Get it? You get it?
you gotta understand what the term God means, right? God means power, right? So
And I just say the battery, like
so
the energy.
we are power, right? We are power. We come from the power, right? If we are created in the image
The
of
source.
the power
The source.
of that Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the way that we move is going to be different, right? We are all creations of the creator, right? But
So,
not everybody,
can I ask a
serves
question?
the creator,
Can I ask a question? You
or
said
particularly this creator.
so. You said the power. That's that. Like basically, that's that, okay. So, are you saying that people actually like that are in the physical form? What's powering them is coming from different energy sources.
No. What I mean is like, so you yourself, right? If you are created in the image of Elohim, like you are created in the image of power. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we can do the things that we can do. That's why we can, like, that's why humans are on this plane right here where we're at. That's why we are
But of
the
course, it
apex, quote
depends on
unquote,
what
apex.
version you reading though, because you got the international, you got the King James, and you
Well,
talking
that's
about
why I said
the Old Testament in its purest form for the most part, like that. Okay, so but
to me that I go with the Hebrew. The Hebrew is because that's what it was originally written in, right? So I'm going to take the original language over anything.
and that's the most powerful way to express anything is in the ancient tongue. You see what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
absolutely.
So that was the original way to tap into, you know,
Shout
what
out to
it
Ken.
yes. Before we had the knowledge removed. before we underwent the brain, the brainwashing and all of the But when you somebody like me who doesn't, I'm not gonna say I'm not educated. Educated and education. It depends. It's not the same thing. A person can go get an education and still not be educated. So I'm not selling myself short, at all. I'm just saying that I didn't go the traditional route to get certain things done. You see what I'm saying? And so when you are, shall I say, enrolled in the school of hard knocks, and you know what I'm saying, and you learn things the hard way, bumping your head on the brick wall and all of that shit, and you don't know. You got other stuff going on in your life. Like, if I could go back, I could learn Hebrew. I could have went back to school and I could have did this and I could have did that. So I'm like, nah, I'm going to take what it is and I'm going to feel. I'm going to discern it. You see, because I speak this language. And if the truth is here, I will attain it. He rewards those who diligently seek after him. This is what I was told.
That route
I didn't doubt it. I didn't doubt it. I didn't know enough at all to second guess it or to see the fallacy and whatever how stuff is reworded. And I didn't know enough, but I knew that I believed. And I'm a loyal MNF. You know what I'm saying? I don't fold. If it's just me and you out and it's going down, well, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? We together, so this is the way it's got to go. I should have with you and walk in here or whatever if we wasn't going, if I didn't have your back.
Most definitely. I just wanted to shout out the comment down there. We had Ken down there. Oh, hey, shalom, Marquis. Shalom, Marquis. He was talking about the keeping the commandments. That's what we believe, keeping the commandments of the Most High.
Right on.
Following the law, stats, and see. A lot of people they get that stuff so twisted, man. Like why we do what we do when we talk about keeping the laws of the Most High, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at that, the laws of the Most High she's sleek out Koti. Yeah, if you are a she, but the laws of the Most High is, they are to govern us, right? Like any
all laws.
any government that you go to got laws. It's no different.
Got laws. You call them rules, whatever your restrictions, whatever you want.
You got laws when you go to your house, right? Like there's certain stuff that's not allowed in your house. Like some people, you couldn't take off your shoes when you come in.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it 100 because that is about keeping the dirt outside and
right.
world into your home. But look, if for some reason my home isn't like showroom, model stage ready type of, I get down like that. But I'm too. So I ain't just putting all my time and energy into having my home look a certain way to impress you. I'm gonna get stuff when I can get to it in my schedule.
Girl Scout got
and priority. That's it. So if it happened to be raining that day, and I'm like, oh, I had to hurry up and run in the house because I needed to get something and run back out. I ain't got time to take off my shoes, and for whatever reason, I'm just being hypothetical, but I'm like, shit happens. Well, if I did that and you come over and I know my floor needs to be vacuumed, swept, mopped, whatever, I'm not gonna make you take your shoes off when I know that I didn't, and now I know for a fact it's dirt on my floor that wouldn't be on there.
Right. No, I'm gonna still make you take your shoes off.
Well, hey, because I want for my brother what I want for myself. So I ain't gonna have you take off your shoes in my crib and walk around and potentially step on something that is gonna leave with you.
Because I can on that too, though.
So that's me considering my people. You see, I'm gonna treat you the way I want to be treated. That's why I demand respect. Not that I'm some tough cat. No, but I get it. And if I cut you off or whatever, I talk a lot. I apologize. I don't mean no harm. You get disclaimer. You get all of that. You ain't gotta ask me.
No.
You see what I'm saying? That's the way I move, and that ain't just here. That's anywhere.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if I'm going to have my home looking like it's supposed to look, yes. You come in, it's a way that you can come in my home. But these things, see, I made the rules so I can break it if I want to. It's my rule.
Yeah, no, I mean it is. It's your domain.
So it's consequences if you don't respect it. Like I said, respect is the Bible.
Right.
You don't respect it. Now, if I say no, you got to take off your shoes. Then you come in and I'm like, okay, now you got to go. Now, and I'm not asking. Now you have to leave.
Right.
It's again because depending on who you are, you see what I'm saying. But
so you can link that back to like what we're talking about, right? Why were the children of Israel kicked out of the land, right? Because they wasn't following the rules. You're not following the rules. You don't get to stay. And I want to say shout out to the Kingdom of Israel and Damona, Israel right now, man. There's a lot that right now the government is trying to keep those people out of the land of Israel right now. If a lot of people don't know, I want to say over 4,000 like African Americans like left from here. We really, we Hebrews, but during the time called African Americans, so they left America to travel from here over to Israel, because they we want to live in the homeland. So they actually left here and went over there and was able to actually, get land over there in Israel, because they went over there, saying, hey, we are the people of this book. We are the people who rightfully belong in this land. And, they've been over there for a very long time. I want to say like over 40 years, like something like 30, 40 years. And right now the government is trying to like kick them out of the land right now. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, they're working to kick them out right now. They're fighting it. But it just goes to show you that like this right now, honestly, if when it comes to just believing what we believe, in my experience, believing this has been the most risky thing you can do as far as like what you talk about. Like look at Nick Cannon, right? When Nick Cannon started to speak about this stuff, right? When Professor Grimm started talking about this stuff, right?
Everybody's soft and sensitive and trying to use anything you say as, a reason to slander your name, to throw some
right,
and then flip it and get some, fame from it, basically. What they call it, clout chasing, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but it is what it is. Either way it goes. So the truth is all I'm looking for, man. And what's the truth to me? Something that's been tested, tried, and proved.
Right.
It's more than one way to skin a cat, though.
Hey, like I said, more than one truth. The one thing that'll get you canceled, the one thing that'll get a lot of people on you is claiming to be a Hebrew. When you claim your identity of who you are, a lot of people start not like that.
But see, if you go that route, though, then you got to go all the way, and then you got to denounce your, nationality as far as being an American, and then you got to this paperwork got to be done, and that's another conversation. You know what I'm saying? But then they look at you as a terrorist. Then. Now you look at that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you turn yourself into a target, basically. But
I mean, you do, but at the same time. That's one thing about we as Black people gotta do. Like we can't be scared to stand up. No. And I'm not saying I'm just saying in general. Like we have to be willing to step up for what we believe in, right? Because other people do. They'll die for what they believe in, right? But we scared to do that.
So we gonna say we ain't scared of shit. You know what I'm saying? Our people, we ain't scared of nothing, and we don't even need to fear God unless fear is defined as respect for consequences. See, because you won't go and dive into the ocean without no scuba gear. Talking about you going deep sea diving, you a deep sea diving. You see, that's what it is, flat out. You're gonna respect the power of the ocean.
Absolutely.
So is it scared or is it fear because you know the consequences? See,
well, I mean, that's the thing.
Have no fear before they talk. You know what I'm saying? They're not scared. They don't give a damn. They stick a key in the socket. That you know what I'm saying? They go get into some water, a tub full of water, the toilet, put their head. They don't care. They don't. I just want to experience them. What is this? What's this? Kids hand them out. That's all they know. You see, so fear and or it's something that's taught, but it depends on what your definition of fear is. You see, why would God, the all knowing, all seeing, the all loving, like the kindness, this is what we talk. Be, you know what I'm saying? Something that needs to be.
But that ain't true either, though. Like a lot of stuff that we were taught is like it's not real. It's not true. Like this whole like nobody in the world is all love, right?
No, but I can be as long as you don't bother me. You respect me.
Right.
I get what's gonna throw, like I tell people all the time, like, well, no, I ain't gonna fuck the vibe up. And they like, well, no, but see, I gotta control mine because that's the only vibe that matters. Because once I lose control of my energy, now it's gonna be a domino effect. Right. I know it because I know me. You see what I'm saying? So it's best for me to try to. And even though I'm ready, but no, stop, don't do it. You see what I'm saying? It's self-control, but it's that poking and prodding. You got to be conscious of your own buttons, or else somebody else controlling you. You see what I'm saying? Your mood, you know what I'm saying, can't swing because of what somebody think or because of what somebody say. And you see what I'm saying? Now, truth be told, like, hey, like I have been a firecracker, stick of dynamite, C4, all of that plastic. You know what I'm saying? But I got to mature at some point and realize that that's not the most productive. That's not conducive to maintaining healthy relationships. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I raised my voice, if it was called an argument, it was because I loved you, and it was something that I was trying to say that I felt needed to be said. And you weren't.
I call that passion, not arguing.
Yeah, I love you enough to bring this change of character, but it's not a change of character. Like, fuck, nigga, what? No, it's, man, look, no, and I'm speaking. I won't shut up about it. I'm gonna keep going because I know I'm speaking plain English. I know you understand what I'm saying, but it's your lack of accountability and willingness to see that is stopping you from wanting to hear me. So yeah, of course, hear none, see none, speak none. Yeah, but if I'm speaking truth, and it's, and the truth hurt. You see. So that's where we have went wrong in the past with our people. Like, remember I told you about the Bible. Did you know Jesus? Well, what about me make you think I'm out here lost and like, I'm like, damn, do I just look like, oh, help me? Why do I look like a criminal? What am I doing wrong? Like, tell me, please. Because it's like if you ever went to tried to get a job as a teenager and you didn't get it, you wanted to know, like, why did they hire me? Like you want to ask them, like, because you want to do that again. You just like, what did I say? Like, I'm
man, speaking of as well, man, because I looks like we're finna wrap up here in a bit.
Already.
One thing that I do want to talk about, boy, is I think we might be able to save that for next episode, man. Is the whole Jesus thing. Like, woo-wee.
Hey, so check it out. Before we wrap up, we're gonna let it go. Trip. If you have it's somebody I met today that didn't want me to split a pole. Now, back in the day, that's what we used to do. You know, knock on wood, but not the black cat cross your path. But these are superstitions.
Absolutely.
So these are things that we're putting in our minds. It's really like curses and spells that have been put out there for you to think, like you break a mirror 7 years back. Look, I'm going to show you how Tommy Brown get down and how I'm able to get that one out. Right? I do demolition. So I know how to build today because I learned how to take shit apart yesterday. You see what I'm saying? Because you could be trying to demolish something. You got a sledgehammer and you got the strength, but it's not budging because you hitting it to go in the wrong direction. We dealing with physics, flat out. So when you learn that, it's like, oh, okay. Now I got a lot of aggression out that way. You see what I'm saying? Most definitely. But I learned how to take shit apart. Period, man, and put it back together again. All right. So if you are that type of person, then you can do that with anything.
Yeah.
Anything. You see what I'm saying? But it don't matter how much force you putting into it. Sometimes things have to be handled, you know what I'm saying, with a certain amount of finesse, you know what I'm saying, like delicacy or care or strategy or whatever. And that's really what we are trying to do. We don't want to keep pushing our people away because of a particular view, not Jesus. Okay, if I am a person here to testify and say, okay, yeah, I went that route and I'm loyal, that's why. But he rewards those who diligently seek after him. Now, the letter J didn't exist until the 16th century.
Wait. Don't go into it. Don't go into it.
So, no, it pissed me off. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna leave something for later. But that's the truth though. So King James wasn't even King James. He was King Imes. So at the end of the day, if the letter J didn't exist to then, and Jesus supposed to have been around for 2,000 years by that time, then if there's so much power in the name, then why we change it? Like we not messing with we not messing with Buddha, we not messing with Krishna, we not messing with none of that, we not messing with none of them, Confucius, whatever. I mean, I apologize if I was talking out of pocket. I don't mean no harm. You know.
No, you good. But that's,
you know what I'm saying. To anybody tuned in, whatever your faith is, you know what I'm saying. I don't discriminate. I don't judge. You know what I'm saying.
Hey, but remember, this is unapologetically black, baby.
But that means I don't apologize for being the black that I am.
Hey,
but I will show respect and apologize for being disrespectful because I want a person to treat me that way. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm doing my best to suppress what I used to be. And I've had reminders in the recent, like why I'm the way that I am. You see what I'm like? Don't think that nigga gone. You keeping him down low. You see? So Jesus helped me do that. Period is what Jesus means to me. He cut me off. Did y'all go? Are we still live? I love y'all. Am I still here? Where my people go? Am I? Hey, well, I love y'all. Check it out. It's me. Got Wild Star. You got Wild Star got wild on me for real.
Hey, I'm back.
Abracadabra. Okay, all right, right on.
But yeah, that's a good place to end that at though, so we can save some for next week because I definitely want to deconstruct this topic. So and I think it's gonna be really good. So
with
that being said though, man, I just want to give a shout out to Culture Creators for
powering this thing up
together, man. Hooking me and Nikki Scarpo up
already,
man. You know, putting this thing together unapologetically. Once again, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all handles under Yehudi Gang, Atmosphere Productions, Atmosphere Candles, and if you're looking for my music, it's under Wild Star. So you can check me out.
Already. And I got some things on the way, you know what I'm saying, for sure. But I'm definitely letting my man get his pub on. You know, we can do all of it together, but hey, it's easier for you to remember when I just let him speak on it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for everything.
Hey, right on.
Already, family. You know what I'm saying?
Man, so I can't wait till next week, bro. It's going to be a great episode, man. Thank y'all, family, for tuning in and watching us here at Unapologetically Black. It's your boy Wild Star out.
And I'm Nikki Scarpo. Now I carry Christ inside, saying chapters and rhymes poetically organized. Already to the next time.
To the next time, Rocky. Shalom.
Yeah. All right. Shalom.